Okay, we just pulled out of Sugarlands Visitor Center. We are now on Newfound Gap Road, Highway 441, and we're going to head up to the top to Newfound Gap at least, maybe another mile or so past that to the Econo-Lofty Valley overlook, and then the elevation starts descending again. So, cannot go to Clingman's Dome this time of year. This is January. Clingman's Dome is closed for the winter because of vast amounts of snowfall they get up there. They know they don't even plow the road. So it will open back up April 1st, and it can snow again in April, so the road may close again. Go ahead, a little bit of more information I'm going to go ahead and give you. There is a number you can call to find out what roads in the park are closed, and that is 865-436-1200. Call that number, follow the voice menu to weather and road conditions report. Once you hear the recording pick up, hit 1 and then hit 1 again, and that'll take you directly to the road closures. That way you'll know before you try to go somewhere if you can get there. But anyway, we're going to turn the camera off for a little bit, and once we start seeing some of the snow, I don't think there's a lot, but I actually heard a ranger say this road has been closed for 6 days and literally just opened back when we were in the visitor center. It's been closed for 6 straight days. It snowed twice in the last week up top. So
we're excited to see what we can see.
Years ago, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this, you can't access the park in snow like you once could. I can remember several trips we would come through here and there'd be 2 feet of snow on the ground, but they would get that road plowed and get it open. I don't know if it's just a lack of manpower now or what it is, but you can rarely get up in here when there's a heavy snowfall anymore. They'll leave it shut until a lot of it's melted, and that's a shame because they get some massive snowfalls up in these mountains. Not so much down low, but up top where we're going. You can actually see Mount LeConte, the edge of it coming into view now. It is snow-capped. It's heavy because it's on the trees even. You can see the trees weighted down with it. So we're heading up that way. And I don't know if you remember the one year we stopped at an overlook and I was walking up there, the snow was literally up to my waist.
Yeah, I remember.
And I wish we could see it like that again. If it ever does and we can get in here, we're going to do a video of it.
Most definitely.
Because they get heavy snow here, but the reason we have to go other places besides here is because those other places are more accessible. You can't get up in here when it's like that. So.
And we're not snow hikers.
No, yeah. A lot of people hike LeConte in the snow. I wouldn't do that because I don't have the equipment to do it, and that's life-threatening if you get caught back up in there during one of those. But for a little perspective, the blizzard of '93 that came through the southeast dropped 63 inches of snow on Mount LeConte. So, and they routinely get 2-foot snowfalls, 3-foot every year. So, it is what it is. We're riding up through the park now, and we're just going to ride up and see just a little bit of the light snow that has fallen this week. I don't know if you can see the chimney tops or not yet. They look nice and
they're off to the side.
White with the snow. They should be coming into view. The trees are going to cover them. You might can see them through the trees. But we're starting to see a few patches of snow on the ground, and actually a lot lower elevation than I thought. I'm guessing we're not much over 2,000 feet at this point.
Yeah, we hadn't even made it to the Chimney's Picnic yet.
Right. So we're already starting to get just a little dusting even down here. None in Gatlinburg, but that's not unusual. Gatlinburg has had snow 3 times this year, some small ones, but you always get more once you get inside the park boundary. So here come the chimneys into view right here.
Oh yeah, that's a good shot there.
Yes, it is. That's where the Gatlinburg fires of 2016 began. That's why the mountain is bare. But actually looks like one of the Rocky Mountains.
It does, doesn't it?
So we're already getting into a little bit of snow. The Chimneys does have a nice picnic area. We have featured that in another video. It's closed today, but that is a really beautiful place to have a picnic along the river.
It is very nice.
There are many sites along the river, but now I would suggest you get here early because those get going faster than the ones not on the river. But very beautiful in the fall. We just drive through there in the fall just to see it.
Oh yeah.
When the leaves are at their peak. Around this curve here, you're going to get a really good shot of the chimneys, and there's even a pull off to get a picture. Do you want a picture?
I would like a picture,
okay.
Please.
Yeah, let me go to the next one so that sign's not in your way.
Thank you.
All right. We're going through one of 2 tunnels in the national park.
Do you see the icicles on the edge of the tunnel there?
Oh yeah, I Here's the Chimney Tops Trailhead if you want to do the hike. It's a used to be 2 miles. That's if you went all the way to the Chimneys Pinnacles. You're not supposed to do that anymore. You're not allowed to go up there. Some people do it anyway, but since the fires, it is not stable, and you could lose your life. But it is now a 1.7 mile, 7.5 mile hike.
They got like a little observation area.
Yeah, they built a little observation area. It's a strenuous hike to be as short as it is. It's not long, but it's about all uphill. Once you cross the rivers, it's about all uphill.
Since they've redone it, there's a lot of stairs.
Yes, there are.
Added stairs.
And this loop here is a 360-degree circle. You make a complete circle, and she's recording it.
She's obviously impressed. Well, Arizona to this, yeah, this is a little different landscape.
Yeah, it is. Arizona's a beautiful state too, though.
I love it.
I haven't been to a part of Arizona I don't like.
I want to get a picture right there when we on the way back down.
Well, I can pull off now if you want.
No, on the way back down, make sure to stop there.
So as we climb, still not deep snow, but a lot more consistent cover.
Take note of the new railing here.
Yes, that's.
You can no longer park.
Yeah, I actually saw that on Facebook this week. People used to, for the Alum Cave Trailhead, used to park all down the road here. I'm glad to see that.
Yeah.
Because some people would have their cars stuck out in the road and everything else.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can't do that anymore. You got to park in one of the two parking lots for Alum Cave, and you got to have your permit starting in March. So, I actually seeing more snow than I thought there was.
Yeah, when they said 1.5 inches, that was in addition.
Evidently, because they did have some earlier in the week as well. So.
Yeah, they've got boulders now on the side over there too. No parking.
Good deal. And folks, we've only come about 8 miles from the visitor center. And you saw there was not a flake of snow on the ground down there. Okay, we're going to get out for just a minute, and I don't know if I can actually get to the river or not, but we're under the curve back there, and it was very pretty. So I'm going to see if I can get an angle somewhere here where I can get a good river shot. Oh yeah, I should.
That's pretty.
Remind me on the way back down, I'll try to stop. Very beautiful driving through here today. Roads are decent shape. There's a few spots in the middle, but roads are pretty decent. Took them long enough to open the road back up.
So we're thankful.
We are. We were thinking this is not really enough snow to have kept the road closed this long. They did also have a wind advisory for about 80-mile-an-hour winds, and we noticed there had been some areas that looked like they cut branches off trees. So we're thinking maybe there might have been some limbs down over the road too. Maybe that's why it took some extra time.
Yeah.
So that's possible.
That would make sense.
Because I've seen it open with a lot more snow than this. Alright, we're getting up closer to Morton Overlook and Newfound Gap, and a lot more icicles and ice on the rocks now. A lot of areas through this little section where the sun doesn't hit. Here's a sunny area, but A lot of these areas stay shaded for a long time, so it doesn't melt off as quickly. Going right into the sun there, so we can cut that. Notice over to the left, all the icicles coming off the rocks. Is this where you're talking about you wanted to pull off?
No, but this is a good place too. But that is.
This is where I was talking about with the icicles.
Right.
To the
Yeah.
right. Yeah, this is one of those areas where the sun just doesn't shine, so the snow hangs around. So we're going to pull through here. You can see the little creek coming out of the mountains there. Alright, pulling out of here now. There's a massive mound of plowed snow to our right. I don't think the camera's getting it, but
We should have saw when we pulled in.
notice the on the rocks over here, the icicles. Again, this is an area that retains snow for a long time because the sun doesn't hit it. We've done many pictures from here.
Yes, we have.
Some of you who are family have gotten Christmas cards taken from here. Alright, let's head on up towards the gap. Sorry for that noise. That's that gravel and slush hitting the bottom of the van. Here's our next pull off. Shaughnessy has asked me to. This is before the. Actually, I said 2 tunnels. There's actually 3. I forgot about this one. So pull off right here as well. And I think she wants a picture of that creek coming out of the mountains there. To the right here is the famous Morton Overlook, known for its spectacular sunsets. Looking off to the west. Oh, I apologize for that glare. I've been trying to cut the camera off when we hit a spot like that, but I didn't catch that one. So we're back in the shade again now. A little bit of a noisy ride up through here, isn't it?
Yeah, gravel keeping up.
Seems like the sky looks a lot bluer after a snow.
It does.
Okay, we have reached Newfound Gap, elevation 5,046 feet on the North Carolina-Tennessee state line. So we're going to pull in here just a little bit. Okay, here at Newfound Gap you have some really good views. You're looking back into North Carolina, the section of the North Carolina section of the Smokies from here. Pan around to the right and you're looking down towards the border of Georgia and North Carolina. Way out in the distance I do see Standing Indian Mountain. That's only just a few miles above the Georgia border. Down there in the valley, if you can see that road that looks like a snake winding down through there, that is Highway 441 going down into Cherokee. Out in the distance, you're looking out towards, I'm going to guess, the Balsam Mountain, Hintuga area. The higher mountains out there still have snow across the tops of them. Look at this guy sitting right here in the tree. I just now spotted him. Now this rock structure behind, you are not supposed to climb it. I have many times as a kid. They put up signs and a fence. I guess evidently because of me. But I do want to give you a little bit of information that's really good to know. Right up at the top of that, in that left corner, you can't see it, but it's there. There's a webcam, a live webcam. So you no longer have to go on Facebook and ask, is there snow at Newfound Gap? and rely on people to tell you who don't know themselves. You can actually get, it updates every hour, and you can actually just go to Google, put in Newfound Gap webcam, and you can get a view of Newfound Gap, and you can see if there's snow. Tell them what we did about a year ago.
We stood out here and watched ourselves.
Yeah, we knew it updated every hour, so we parked out there and stood there and waited till the image updated, and we actually saw ourselves on the webcam. That was a surreal experience.
That famous.
Yeah. Over there's the backside of Mount LeConte. Hopefully we'll get a better view of that here in just a moment. But Mount LeConte still looks like pretty heavy snow on there. This is where President Roosevelt actually dedicated, Franklin Delano Roosevelt dedicated the national park, right up there at that stone structure you see. And this is what it looked like that day, or any given day in October. So if you look over this way, if you can read that sign, it's 7 miles to Clingman's Dome, which you cannot access now. 20 miles that way to Cherokee to the left. 15 miles back to Gatlinburg to the right. And Shaughnessy's left me again, and she's moved to Tennessee. Are you ever coming home?
Yes, of course.
No hurry or anything, just whenever you happen to think about it. But here is the North Carolina-Tennessee state line. Also, the Appalachian Trail does cross Newfound Gap. So we're going to walk up there here in a moment and show you that. Okay, so off to the right are the restrooms. And here is actually the Appalachian Trail. With the mileages, Sweet Heifer Creek Trail, or Sweat Heifer, I'm sorry, 1.7. Let me get up a little closer to that. Boulevard Trail, which is one of the routes to LeConte. You take this for 2.7 miles on the AT, and then you take a left on Boulevard, and that takes you to the summit of Mount LeConte. That's one of 5 ways. Or Mount Katahdin in Maine, which is where the Appalachian Trail ends. 1,972 miles. I don't think we're going to do that today.
Probably not today.
Here's a little information on the AT. More than 2,150 miles. I think it's around 2,190 miles. Through 14 states. Few stretches are more remote or difficult than the section through the Great Smokies. And this is actually has its highest elevation when you cross the top of Clingman's Dome. And this is where President Roosevelt gave his dedication to the park. Let's walk up there. Oh, yeah, I guess icy conditions.
One thing you'll have to come down here and look, where people haven't walked it, on the snow, down here on the rock, the wind's blowing it.
I'll be there in just a second. Alright, looking at the backside of Mount LeConte, which is the 3rd highest peak in the national park. There is actually a lodge at the top that you have to hike to get to, and people have a 1-year waiting list and pay a couple $100 a night just for the wilderness experience. When we got up there last year in June, it was freezing cold. Probably actually in the 40s. It did warm up to about 60 by the time we started to hike down, as opposed to 85, 90 in the valleys. There was only one 2-day stretch in 2012 that mountain's ever recorded a high of 80 degrees. They finally did top 80 back in the heat wave of 2012. Never had in history before that, and haven't since. So. Say that again.
I said, seeing how the snow on the rocks, how the wind's blown that? Yeah. Isn't that neat?
Yeah, it is kind of neat.
It's just like it's
something different there.
Yeah.
Okay, we have decided we're going to drive just another mile or so into North Carolina and stop at the Econo-Lofty Overlook, and that's where we'll turn around and head back to Gatlinburg. And this is why you can't go to Clingman's Dome in the wintertime. The road receives no attention at all. And I don't know why they blocked that ending day out. It's typically through March 31st, reopens April 1st, weather permitting. Okay, pulling into the Econo-Lofty Overlook now. Not really anything here we haven't already seen, but it's a beautiful pull off in the fall especially. pull up there and show you the view. This is actually one of my favorite overlooks in the park. I just like the view. I don't know why it's not the most expansive view, but I like it. Here's the view from the Econo-Lofty overlook. Out in the distance, looking back towards the Balsam Mountain area. The higher peaks are covered with heavy snow. Okay, just down past the Econo-Lofty is another overlook, and this has one of the most expansive views off of Highway 441 in the National Park of the Smoky Mountains. Down there in the valley somewhere is the town of Bryson City, and out in the distance, again, we're looking down at the close to the Georgia border. There is Standing Indian Mountain about center of your screen, and panning over to the right is the general direction of Brasstown Bald, the highest point in Georgia, but it does seem to be obstructed. I'm not spotting it from here. You can see it from Klingman's Dome on a clear day, like today, but can't see it from this overlook. But just a beautiful view. This is a great place to come during the fall, this spot right here. When the leaves are at their peak right there in those valleys, it is absolutely a display that you don't want to miss.
We stopped off over here at the Webb overlook to look at Klingman's Dome here, which is the highest point in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, 6,643 feet. Because of the angle of the sun, we can't see how wide it is up there, but naked eye, I can see it looks like it'd be pretty wide. But yeah, I don't know how good the camera's gonna be picking up on that.
Here on the North Carolina side, the roads are a little worse. There's actually a little thin layer of ice on the road. Still not bad. It's certainly passable. But just be aware in the shaded areas, the road can have some icy patches on it. So we are headed back up towards Newfound Gap, and we're going to head back down into Gatlinburg. Don't know if we're going to make any other stops along the way. You were wanting to stop at an overlook that we never did see, and I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
Well, if I see it, I'll let you know. We'll stop.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because there was one I suggested you might be talking about, and you said that wasn't it, but I think maybe it was, because you said there was a creek coming in from the left. So we may stop there on the way back down. I'm headed back down the mountain through the tunnel now. And we're going to try to find her overlook and close this video out. Just riding down through a winter wonderland right now. So we're probably going to close the video out when we get back to the 360 loop. I think there was a couple of pictures and video shots we wanted from there. Hope y'all have enjoyed this ride through the national park today. Very, very beautiful, and not really too many people. Some maybe from Florida coming up and, you know, trying to see some snow. Just a very pretty drive today.
Very pretty, for sure.
Florida, so something they don't get to see down there a lot, so they like to take advantage of it. Up here I would too. Alright, when I say the 360-degree loop, this is what I mean right here. You literally, as you're coming up or down the mountain, in this curve, it literally, the road goes right back under through a tunnel, which we are standing on top of right now. This is the chimneys. It's probably not going to be a good shot because the sun is at a very unfortunate location right now. Okay folks, we're going to do our closeout here. I hope you don't think we're yelling at you. We're trying to talk loud because the river's loud and we want you to be able to hear us. We're not yelling at you, but we hope you enjoyed this drive through Great Smoky Mountains National Park and also the tour of Sugarlands Visitor Center. We decided to walk down here to the Chimneys Trailhead right here on the river and do our closeout. So what did you think of the drive? What was your favorite part?
My favorite part was probably, I I don't know, I guess seeing the chimney tops when I saw those for the first time because they had so much snow on them and they looked so rocky, they just looked super high. I guess
First time this trip.
in the snow, that's what I'm talking
Right,
about.
yeah.
Yeah, this trip. And they just look so high, and I'm so glad we got to come today that they opened the road up. So.
Yeah, we were worried we wouldn't even get to.
Yeah.
We kept calling and calling, and the road would not open. And I finally even tweeted to their site, "Are you all going to open the road today?" So anyway, they finally did as we were at the visitor center. So we took a drive up there. Glad we did. Wasn't a big snowfall. Certainly we've been up here with a lot more than this, but it was still enough to make it pretty and worth the drive. So hope y'all enjoyed it. If you did, like and subscribe.
And find us on Facebook.
And have a blessed day.